Hi everyone, welcome to our herbal tea making workshop, something I call the yoga of tea. And over the years of making all of Pukka's teas, the last 20 years, I've had this privilege and pleasure. I've learned a lot about sourcing herbs, quality of herbs and how to blend them. And something I call the yoga of tea is all about how do you make the perfect cup of tea. How do you really make something that's nourishing for you and the world around? And the first thing is that you want to have a clear purpose. You want to have a fixed intent, basically, on what do you want the outcome of drinking this tea to be. It could just be a simple moment of pleasure, or it could be something that's good for your digestion, good for your sleep, good for your mood. So that's the first thing to do in any cup of tea you make. What's the point of it? And then you want to really make sure that you're making some tea that's with exceptional quality ingredients. And so for me, the first thing is the quality of the herbs. What's their colour, what's their smell, how vibrant do they make you feel? Do they wake you up and make you feel alive when you look at them? And that's the way you can tell their quality. Of course, you can analyse them as well, like we do at Pukka. We analyse all of our herbs for their essential oil content, for other active compounds, and it's something that we call a practitioner grade analysis to make sure that the herbs that we use would be of a medicinal functional quality. But it's also making sure that the way the herbs are grown is also really good, and so that means it being organic, really, because that's the most tested and most verified way of making sure that what you're drinking and eating has been grown with care for the land and the people around it as well. Organic farming produces loads more wildlife, you get loads more insects and plants, 50% more or so, get loads more carbon capture, so organic farming helps solve the climate crisis. You get better water absorption, so it helps protect the downstream communities as well as climate resistance, and so it also helps give you better quality ingredients, so that the herbs that are grown organically have been shown to have 50% more protective antioxidants in them, for example, and in dairy you get higher amounts of omega-3. So organic, you get a better biodiversity, you get better climate protection, and you get better nutritional qualities. So it's a no-brainer, basically. And you also want to make sure that the farmers that are growing the herbs and the wild harvesters that are collecting them from the wild are treated fairly. And so that means making sure that everything you get where it's appropriate is fair certified in some way. And so we're proud to say all of our teas are Fair for Life certified, as well as organic, as well as practitioner grade. So that's something we've had a lot of fun with over the last few years. So let's make a cup of tea together. Thought we'd make a couple of different teas. One being something you can just grab off the kitchen shelf at any stage of the day, and another one that you could go and harvest and forage from a park or the wilds when and if you can get there. So the off the shelf one I thought would be good to make digestive tea, and it's slightly based on our original detox tea, now our Feel New, which is a collection of seeds, and I'm sure most of you have got a wild spice cupboard that's full of all sorts of delights. And so what we're going to do is measure up some fennel, star anise, coriander and cardamom, and just blend them together and make a nice cup of tea, basically. But you can adjust it to your own flavours. You could put cinnamon in, aniseed. If you want something a bit spicier, you can have ginger or chili. Sort of depends on what you're feeling like, really. And you can measure, of course, the herbs, or you can just be a bit of a free-form cook and do a little bit of a liberal sprinkling. And you want to make sure you've got a beautiful pot, your favourite cup, a nice armchair, a good friend to have a cup of tea with. So let's get this together. So we've got some nice cardamom seeds here. Put 6 or 7 of those in there. So cardamon's got quite a bright aromatic flavour and is used in Ayurveda to help digestion, improve absorption of nutrients, but also clear mucus and sluggishness. You can put a bit of fennel in. Fennel is an amazing herb, particularly famous for not only digestion, but helping increase lactation and milk production after having a baby. It's got a sweet, refreshing flavour, and I'd think about including it in any blend where anyone gets any cramping or just wants to have smoother digestion and good assimilation. It's maybe not commonly used in herbal tea, but coriander seed, if you can see there, is, I just love the flavour of it really. I'm just doing a teaspoon of each of these, just for simplicity, maybe that's about 2 or 3 grams of herbs. And coriander's, again, a digestive, they're all digestives, but it's mildly diuretic as well. So it helps to filter, should we say, the blood more efficiently. And then star anise, one of my all-time favourite plants. Beautiful flavour and beautiful shape. I don't know if you can see that easily on the angle. But it's this, starry shape. It's very hard. You need to really grind it up, actually. I've got a little bit that I've already broken up. And then you can either put it in a blender and whiz it all together, or you can use the good old pestle and mortar. Let's break it up a bit. Get a nice pot. Basically with herbs as well, really freshly boiled water is really important, particularly with things like seeds and roots and things that are a bit harder. I know there's a fair bit of talk around green tea being had at 80 degrees or 90 degrees, and that might be the case with some very fine green teas, and maybe perhaps with some of the more aromatic herbs as well, like chamomile or lime flower, for example. But generally it needs really freshly boiled water, and I've boiled this kettle of water. I've got a thermos kettle, which is very cool. So you can boil it, and then it stays warm for a good couple of hours. Anyway, so I just boiled it beforehand, so I didn't think you'd be that interested in me boiling my kettle whilst we were talking. Okay, so there's a little cupboard. That can brew for a minute or 2. It's our spicy tea. So, I mean, I like to brew a tea for a good amount of time. I mean, I'm probably not going to sip a cup of tea till it's brewed for 10, maybe 15 minutes. I don't like it too hot, and B, you get all of the colour and the flavour seeping into the tea. So that's why we recommend people on the back of our boxes to leave it brewing for quite a long time. Okay, so let's leave that one for a minute. And ta-da! Then we can make a fresh cup of tea. So I thought, given the immune challenges we see in the world at the moment and the seasonal opportunities that nature is providing, we could make a fresh tea. And there are lots of herbs out at the moment that are really good for upper respiratory tract, for immunity and general wellness. And so I thought we'd make like a respiratory tea, one for your lungs. Of course, one of the most famous herbs for the lungs is thyme, Thymus vulgaris. And it's got a particularly pungent, almost acrid flavour that is quite intense when you eat it fresh. But the volatile oils in thyme, you digest them, they go into your bloodstream and they actually come out again in your lungs. They go through from your digestion and come out in your lungs, and therefore help to purify any bacterial infections or anything like that. And it's pretty delicious. So it's the sort of thing that if you feel a little bit chilly and a little bit run down, a cup of hot thyme tea is one of my absolute favourites. This is a rather beautiful bunch with the flowers. I've got this rather nice little teapot that's actually used for green tea. I'm going to put that in there. Thymus vulgaris. And then another plant that is a real winner for the respiratory system is elderflower, Sambucus nigra. And elderflower is used particularly for clearing catarrh and opening up the lungs to facilitate breathing. It's also good if one gets a mild fever, can help you sweat. And I mean, we're used to having this as a cordial mixed with lots of sugar and stuff, but it's a really delicious herbal tea when it's fresh and also when it's dry. But because it's out in the garden, I thought you could go and get some now. So we'll put some of that in there. And then we're into the sort of more risky territory where I might, under other circumstances, make this with tulsi, a respiratory tea with tulsi, but perhaps another plant that's a little bit similar to it in the UK is nettles, and our fantastic urtica that is used, well, it's very rich in minerals, so it's seen as a nutritive tonic, so helps to boost your energy that way and build blood. It's also slightly drying and astringent, so in our damp climate, it can help to ameliorate some of the accumulation of some of those winter sluggishness, if you like. And also it's got mild ability to help impact histamine. So this time of year, when hay fever might be starting for people, this tea with elderflower, thyme and nettle can be very good for removing that. And then I thought to make it taste nice, we could take some mint. And the mint is again opening and ascending and refreshing and tastes good as well, so it means you're going to have it. But it's got this mild sort of antispasmodic properties, which if people got a cough or challenge with breathing can be very helpful. So now I've got a nice fresh tea there. And there we go. So we can let that brew. I need to get a cup. I was all prepared. So look, this is the original tea we had. You can use a strainer if you like. This is our spicy tea. So just a little teaspoon of fennel seed, teaspoon of coriander seed, a few cardamom seeds, sort of 6 or 7, and a bit of star anise. And you've got a rich, aromatic, flavoursome tea. You can always add a bit of licorice into it if you want it to be a little bit sweeter, or a bit of honey. This is a licorice stick that I grew, that I'm very proud about. It's very sweet and delicious, but it's very hard as well, so you really need to mash it up. But that can be a good herb to balance in any cup of tea. Okay, everybody, hope you enjoyed that. Really good to have a chance to talk about making some herbs. So you can see this tea is brewing nicely. So yeah, just to recap, just think about why are you doing it? What do you want to create? What's the intent that you want that outcome to be of the cup of tea? And if you wanted to find lots of recipes, I wrote this a few years ago. Cleanse, Nurture, Restore with Herbal Tea. And there's loads of stories and images and ingredients, how to make simple cups of tea Oh, there we go, one of my favourites, a cup of love. So, gives you the herbs thing, the measurements, and where you can get some of the plants and how to make your own cup of tea. You know, it's a bit like cooking. If you like cooking, exploring with food, get into making herbal recipes. You can make herbal teas, you can make syrups, you can make tinctures. It's very good fun. It's usually delicious, and it's always good for you. So, hope you enjoyed that. Cheers, everyone. We'll try this one now. So it's a beautiful colour. A bit hotter than I'll drink it normally, but it's ready. There we go. Taste of summer. Okay, everyone. Take care. Enjoy.